Good afternoon, colleagues. Afternoon, runners. I hope we are all here. This invite been sent to us some few weeks ago that today we're going to have an Imbizo here to tackle issues that affect us, especially Comrades marathon runners. Let me also welcome our running colleagues who are joining online and introduce myself. My name is Siliki Mabina. I'm also a runner and a member of PAC. Actually, I'm a top runner. That is how I'm classified. So, without wasting much time, colleagues and runners, I'm going to call upon the chairperson, Mr. Tabana Mokotwa, who is also a runner, but not a top runner, to come and welcome you all to this very important event. Mr. Mokotwa.
Thank you, Mr. Mavina, and good evening to the fellow club members and Comrades athletes. Like you said, you are welcome. Those of you who managed to make it physical, and we also welcome those that are joining us virtually tonight. And it's important because we wanted everyone to make a contribution to this session, irrespective of the location. Then we really appreciate your time for honoring this invitation. Ms. Lala Patrick, I'm sure Lala must, but you are fine, they see you. The announcement that was made last month that we have co-opted a new member into the committee, that is Lala Patrick, who joined the committee to make us 10 because of the amendment that we had, the secretary leaving and having to co-opt another member to join us. Ms. Patrick, there she is. Members, without waste of time, like I said, we call this meeting, I want to go to the purpose as well. We have been doing logistics for Comrades for a number of years. Before some of us joined the club, we joined the club, and up to today, this club has always organized athletes to go to Comrades in June, each and every year without fail. But you must realize that times change, things keep on moving, and things evolve. And lately, there's quite a number of things that have just changed here and there. And if you remember during the AGM, in the report that I gave, I mentioned that as a club, we need to be very careful of how we deal with our logistics and arrangements for the Comrades, and including the finances. And out of that AGM, we then resolved that we need to call a special meeting with the Comrades athletes alone, because this affects them directly, unlike the other members of the club, with the other affairs of the club. So it is important that we iron out these issues with the direct people that are affected by whatever that is happening with the Comrades. We have shared the agenda. I'm sure you may realize that we were going green. We can't print pages here and they lie all over. Each one of you who is on the group, I believe all of you are on the group. If you're not on the group, we must be aware and add you to that Comrades group. Then the agenda is the same as what you received earlier this morning. So we are going to follow that agenda as it is. And I'm thankful that you are here and those joining us live. Maybe I may not even sit down because I know there's first item there talking about the transport and the accommodation. I'm right. Colleagues, as a club, we always have a transport for our athletes traveling down to Durban for Comrades Marathon. And we normally announce it on time to say there is a bus that the members who would like to travel with the bus enlist your names, and this is the amount that you need to pay to ensure that you book your space. And on top of that, we will then say, if you are traveling with the bus, it is mandatory that you also take up the accommodation part of it. We don't normally separate them because it comes as a package, and those who are traveling with the bus is like that. Getting to the real point is, we will pay 600 Rand those who have traveled with the bus to go to Durban from Thursday evening, arriving in Durban in the early hours of the morning, attending to the expo staff and so forth, and checking in later on Friday. Then from Friday until Monday, check out. Is then that the bus travels back to Polokwane on that Monday afternoon. That is the arrangement that we had last year. Those who were in the bus, I'm sure what I'm saying is exactly how things transpired in the previous year. Members, the accommodation that the club has always used for a number of years has been a place called Impala in Durban. And that location was chosen based on a number of factors. One of the main issues is the cost. I must indicate, is the cost. The second part is the proximity to a number of areas where we are aware that our runners must reach. Like when you are there, you just take a walk, you get to Expo. You take a walk, you are at the beach. On Sunday morning, if you are starting in Durban, it's a walking distance to the starting point, not even having to organize an Uber or a bus or anything to go to the starting point. And normally, when the race starts in Pietermaritzburg, the bus that will have traveled with the athletes from Polokwane will, like last year, will take them to Pietermaritzburg in the earliest of the morning to make sure that they're on the starting point right on time. That has been the arrangement that has been made, and think of it that apart from traveling from here to Durban and coming back, you also have an arrangement from your accommodation to the start in Pietermaritzburg. So those are the things that we have made arrangements with. Then here is the matter, colleagues. We have received reports as the committee for the past few years that some of our members registered to travel with us in that bus to Durban. And remember, like I said, it comes as a package. We pay for that accommodation as well, including yourself as a member listed on that. When you arrive in Durban, people decide to go and sleep elsewhere during the course of that time, meaning it becomes a fruitless expenditure from the club side that we paid a room for you to stay there, and on arrival you decide to go and sleep at your own place. Let me welcome the former chairperson, who I specially invited to join us because I took over from him. These arrangements for Comrades has been done a long time ago before I became the chairperson. Mr. Kori, those who don't know, you can rise for them to see you. Mr. Kori Kalis is our former chairperson. He's here joining us tonight. Then he will be assisting me in some of the presentations for tonight. Thank you, Kori, for honoring the invitation at the time. And on top of that, colleagues, I was just talking about those people who decide to go and stay elsewhere whilst they have decided to travel with the bus. That is the first thing that we got a report about it, and it doesn't sit well with us as a club, because what it means is you did not have a need to actually stay with us there. Then we could have saved that money. The second part is some complaints that I must say this, because the reason why we even called this meeting. When we arrived from Durban last year during the medals parade, when we were at the clubhouse, there were members of the club that actually wanted to speak to this issue of accommodation. And after that session, I received a number of talks to say, we are not happy with Impala. We don't want to stay at Impala. We need another accommodation. All those things that came regarding the accommodation, colleagues. Personally, I did not sleep at Impala, but I can tell you that for the past 3 years, those who are at Impala, they know very well. Lara there stayed at Impala last year. I will visit them, go and check how things are at that place. And I sleep just around the corner from Impala. And without saying much, but that is the complaint that we hear. And as the committee, I then said, we need to call this forum to discuss this matter openly with the affected parties, being you as the members and the athletes, to say, based on the reasons that I mentioned earlier regarding the proximity of the location and so forth, what is it that makes you to be unhappy to stay at that place? We need to hear it from the horse's mouth. And based on the cost, remember, that place is not a 5-star hotel as you may expect it. It's not our homes where we can say, I want to sleep at it. But like I'm saying, the affected parties will say it better than me. To hear that officially, to say, Chairperson, we are not comfortable with that place. And the reason being 1, 2, 3. But before we get to that stage, I must indicate that as a club, we look for such acceptable accommodation based on the cost contribution that members are contributing and the club can afford to actually subsidize the members. Because remember, that amount that you are paying doesn't cover the entire cost for the accommodation and the bus. There's a contribution from the club side that is making, so for us to actually be accommodated there. So we are actually making sure that each member of the club who has a wish to run Comrades is not left behind, is able to go to Durban and run Comrades with all of us. So before I open it up for the inputs from their side, and those that are on virtual, like I said on the message, they can send their comments on the chat group. We will read them and we will respond to them. Those are the ones that are online. We don't want to close them out. We need to hear their inputs, and we've got people here that will actually take care of those chats. But from my side, before we get to that, I want to give the treasurer, because he's the one dealing with the finances, to actually just, in just a few minutes, take you through how much it cost the club to get you the transport and accommodation. For now, I'm speaking about those who are using the accommodation, colleagues. There are other items on the agenda coming, but for now, the agenda is on that. It's treasurer. Maybe let me give it to you. You can come here to just share with the athletes how much it cost the club for that.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues. We presented this last year in the AGM, the cost of the Comrades Marathon. Just in total, we spent 432,286. Of the amount that we spent, contribution from members was 140,000. And then accommodation only, we spent, I think 68,000 rand. And then the bus transport was 95,000. And the jacket that you got was 166,000. So, should I give the entire?
No, just.
Oh, the accommodation and transport, like I said, is 68, and then 95,000 for the bus. And the contribution from members was 140,600. Including the goodie bag. The goodie bag alone was 166,000. So the total cost was 400 and change. If I can just give a more detailed one. The Comrades alone, the total was 432,000. Of the 432, 140,000 was members' contribution. 276,000 came from the club coffers. So the club sponsored the Comrades Marathon runners with 276,386. Yeah, thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Treasurer. I believe from these figures, you are able to then relate the cost that the club has to incur to make sure that all of us run Comrades. Without waste of time, colleagues, let's get to, I don't think we had an issue with transport as such. I want us to hear the issue of accommodation. As I've said, I had some few suggestions, I had some few complaints, and let it come forward so that we know where we can go and what to do moving forward. And those that have been there before as well, without complaints or without whatever, they must also indicate to us how their experience is like staying in that particular facility. Treasurer, I see your hand.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to emphasize the point that from those that stayed at the venue, there's two opposing views. There are those who are comfortable staying there, and there are those who are not comfortable. I think it's important for us to highlight this fact that not everyone who stays there has a problem. There's a selected number of people that complained, and there are those who said, no, we don't have a problem. The accommodation is satisfactory. Thanks.
Thank you, Treasurer. Members, you are given the opportunity to make an input. Ndadema Wule at the back, yeah, you must train, Papa. I can't recognize you. You know, this time for Comrades. On a lighter note, Ndadema Wule, make your point, brother.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing here on behalf of those guys who are amongst those who sleep in the venue that the club is organizing for us during the time of Comrade. We have suggestion, Chairman. We are not complaining, but we want to make some input in a sense that every time when we sleep there, we cannot afford to carry a bag from home. When you get there, you can't even take out your clothes and put them somewhere. The very same bed that you sleep on it's your seat or your couch at the same time. So we are suggesting if we can increase the amount that we are contributing each and every year when you go to Comrades to find us a suitable place for the runners. Remember, we must just be relaxed because Comrades is a bigger event for us. So it's an input. Another thing, we have queries in terms of the figures that the Treasury has just said now in terms of the transport, the 95,000. We were asking because back in the days we heard that we've been subsidized by the municipality. Is that 95,000 or the municipal subsidies included in that? Thank you.
Thank you, Ndadama Wule. There's no other hand from the floor, right? Thank you. Look, colleagues, let me start with the issue of the transport, the accommodation cost. You are aware that last year, the only contribution that we got from the municipality or any sponsor was the 20,000 rand that was announced during the Makoro Foundation celebrations at the new stadium. Those who attended that event, the chairman stood on the podium and said, I'm contributing 20,000 rand for Polokwane Athletic Club and 20,000 rand for Mzansi. So then that is the only contribution that you could actually subtract from that cost for the bus only. We only received 20,000 rand. From the rest. Even in the previous year, the same thing happened that we only received such amount and the rest we had to cover for ourselves. And coming to the second point that you raised is the issue of increasing the contribution and get a better place. I really like such suggestions because it then means our athletes are willing to get a better place at an added cost. And that is acceptable. And remember, we are elected as the executive of the club to implement the mandate given by our members. And the Demabule, I also need to say from what the Treasurer has said, that there are two opposing views here. And Democrats will prevail always, right? If the members of the club, the majority says, we are comfortable at Impala, the club will still make a booking at Impala because maybe thought that majority is not willing to contribute more to get a better place. Meaning you will have actually be outvoted based on that. But if the majority of the members are not comfortable staying in that particular place, then indeed it means the committee and yourselves need to agree on an added fee apart from what was discussed in the AGM so that we get to a better place. And I believe that makes sense. Yeah, the Demavina, you want to make a contribution?
Yeah. Thanks, Chair. You raised two issues during your reporting. The first one was about members who travel on the bus but decide to sleep somewhere when they get to Durban. And I would say that is a policy issue, Chair. Maybe the club needs to have a very direct policy on that one. Because yes, I want to agree with you that if we have made bookings for 10 people and only 5 people sleep in the hotel may not refund you the 5 people. And it means we are running at a loss. I think that one is a policy issue that the club needs to look at to ensure that everyone who travels on the bus sleeps in the hotel, so that at least expenditure is justified. The second issue on the hotel, Chair, as much as we want to deliberate more on it, I want us also to be very careful. The question would be, why did we have the bus in the first place? That is very important. And when I joined that lab, the bus was for those runners who are not able to afford. So that lab had to come and assist them. Those who were affording, we are flying to Durban every Comrades. But the bus was actually meant, if I'm wrong, Chair, you will correct me, for indigent people, people who are not able to afford to fly to Durban or to drive to Durban. That lab had to come to assist them by providing accommodation and transport. If we take it from there, then I think that's going to be a very good foundation. Because now, if you are going to, but Chair will control it, to put forward, Chair, was to check if all members understand how did this bus come about. If it was to assist our members who want to run Comrades but are not able to afford to go to Durban, that motive must remain because it is our cornerstone. I'm just afraid if we're going to put it to voting, well, of course we may get answers, but we may not get satisfaction. I'm just worried that runners here won't go to Durban if we are going to charge them 3,000 each, because those who are flying and getting their own accommodation. I mean, my flight from Polokwane to Johannesburg is 1.3. Still around here, I'm paying 1.3 to fly from Polokwane to Durban, and it's about 1,000 something to Durban. So that is why I'm saying we need to be very careful about our runners. I'm just afraid that some of them may end up remaining home because they can't afford that 3,000. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I actually, lifetime chairman, I wanted to bring you here after Mawina has spoken because you will actually give a proper background about why we had this bus and transport like the gentleman has said. Thank you. Over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think it's important to start, like Siliki said, where the support came from. So in 2012, I think already, we started supporting our athletes in need. But then we had to get a letter from your employer to say you're earning less than 4,000 Rand a month so that you can qualify for support from the club for Comrades. So that was a starting point. So when we buy a bus ticket, a taxi ticket from Polokwane to Johannesburg, Gauteng, and they will get on the train and they will be transported to Pietermaritzburg. They will stay in a hall. But about 1,000 other athletes, that was for free. I think it's 50 Rand, but was provided by the Comrades Association. So that was not nice for our athletes because to stay in a night before the Comrades with 1,000 other people in a hall is not what you want. So we said, let's try and upgrade the system, and then we start looking at hotel accommodation. But again, the starting point is very important. Why do we have a bus and why do we have support? Because most of our athletes, and there's still a lot of them, can't afford to take a flight or take his own car. Perhaps they don't even have their own vehicle to drive to Durban. So we try to organize transport in between our athletes to get to Durban, but then it came about that we started with the Polokwane Mayor's race, and then we started to negotiate for support for the bus. So that makes a huge difference, because the club by itself couldn't afford a bus. I think we still can't afford a bus by our own. So it's very important to know, if we don't get the support from the municipalities, then we can't actually give you transport. It will go back to the old system where you must make a plan. We give you 500 Rand and say, right, please make a plan between yourself. Let's rent a taxi and we go down to Comrades. So we were very privileged to have an opportunity from the municipality to help us. But I must say again, I just want to go back to affordability. Affordability is a starting point of this whole support. If we can't help the people who really need it, then we're missing the whole point. Then we may just as well say, listen, here's 500 rand for each of you. Thank you. I'll see you at Comrades. But that was never the idea. We want the cohesion of our athletes who stay together. They drive together, they sleep together, and they run together. But what happened in the last a couple of times, people are going with a bus, and when they disappear, they've arranged their own accommodation, and the bus driver must try and make sure who's on the bus and who's not on the bus, who's coming back with the bus. That's not on. It's not working. So very important as well. When we started about 5 years ago with the municipalities and the Mall of the North, the club received all the entry fees from Mall of the North as well as Polokwane and CDM. And the year when I stepped out, they changed their rules. Not because of our chairman, they just saw the opportunity, and CDM came all of a sudden with only a fee, and Polokwane municipality also with only a fee. So our income from our revenue from the club, I think more than half on those two events. And last year, Mall of the North, I think about a month before the race, they approached us and said, listen now, we still want to do the race, but we're going to cut, we can't pay all the cost. Either you must help us with the medals and the t-shirts, or else we can't host the event. So all of a sudden, where we used to get, let's say, 250,000 rand, now we get 100,000 rand. So you remember that all that money we use just for the purpose of our Comrades athletes, which is not even fair to the rest of the club members. So we must be very careful, and it's wonderful to see how the club grows and how many more athletes are going to the Comrades, but we must think clearly, why did we start the support to the Comrades? So people in need. But I also agree. We had stayed in places which was not so nice, but because we waited too long, and then you can't get a group accommodation for a big group. So I think if you want to change now, you're going to have a problem. Please, you must take into consideration, look at other clubs. I know Solly from, even there was still Eskom. They used to stay at Belito. But every athlete must contribute 3,000 rand, or 5. Now, a few years ago it was free. Now it's already 5,000 rand. That's for the bus and accommodation. So each athlete, they got 6 months, I think. There's a cut-off date. If you haven't contributed your 5 grand, you're off the bus. So we're not there. We really try to accommodate each and every member. But you must understand, affordability is the biggest issue, I think. But yes, we are. Another thing about accommodation and Impala, why we always selected Impala, it is cheap, it's affordable, but more importantly, it's close to the start. You can walk from the hotel to get to venues and clear close by. You don't have to worry about a bus to take you there. And that is, so if we want to look at something else, it must be in the vicinity of a start, in the central CBD, where the athletes can go on their own and grab something to eat or do something. But if you're out like in one of the suburbs, then you must know you can't go anywhere without the bus. So the bus must be there all the time, and that can be problematic as well. Let me just check. I mentioned the transport in the past. We started with a taxi, and then a train, and then we did smaller taxis. And a few years ago, we rented a private little bus from a company because we had too many people, I think, that year for the bus. But the problem is we're so dependent on the municipality to get something from them. Because they don't give it to you in advance and say, right, we will contribute 50 or 100,000 rand. Sometimes on short notice, I think the last year, before I resigned, we had to go to the mayor, I think 2 weeks before we had to leave and beg him, say, please sir, help us, we need a bus to go to Comrades, and then they said, right, they will help us. So yeah, you can't plan along it. I know we're going to have 100,000 rand from the municipality, so we're going to we can book this accommodation, and we're going to do this bus. You have to wait until number 99. So the club must do what they have in their hands to provide for you to go to the Comrades and have a nice place to stay, to get safe at the start and safe back home. So you've got a very difficult job. Times are changing. It's not easy. It's getting very expensive. Yeah, but that is a background. So please, I think you must think carefully. Like Silike also said, we can now select better hotels, but when we're going to miss a point, why did we start it? And will those people really need, will they be able to still go on the bus and go to Comrades? Thanks.
Thank you, Corey, for that detailed background, colleagues. You've heard it from where it started, right from 2012. This is almost 14 years later. Things have evolved, things have changed, and that was the point for assisting our needy athletes. I want to take this direction. From the previous speaker, Corey and Ndre Mabina.
Can you check if there are any comments on the system?
Witness, can you check for us there before we move to... Thank you. He's indicating that we don't have any comments from those who are listening to us virtually. Colleagues, that is the point of the club assisting the athletes. And based on this background, I must say that, like he said when he left now, it's difficult as a leader with the changing times to lead, but we try by all means to make sure that as a club, the way he put it, get our club members together, travel together, those who want to travel together, stay together, and run together. So based on that, unless there's a different view from the floor, and there's no chat there, I will say, the communities around the corner, we will proceed with the arrangement as we used to have, the bus and the accommodation. With a clap of hands, I thank you, colleagues. I want us, the program director, can we stop off this item and move to the next one, colleagues? Thank you.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks, runners. The clap of hands is a sign that we are actually proceeding. But Chair, I think the sooner we start with registration of those members, the better. Wherein, at least by the end of, say, the first week of April, you have all the names of people who intend to use the bus and the accommodation. And we proceed. Runners, we dealt with item 1, opening and welcome. We skipped roll call and apologies. We proceeded to purpose of the meeting. My brother.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francois Hartlief, and I'm a fairly new member to this club. I'm also trying to do my first Comrades this year. So I have no, thank you. I have no knowledge about Impala or experiences. Thank you for the background information that you shared, and I appreciate it. I think it's really a very good thing that the club is doing. I just sense that there are some people that are in need of different accommodation. To me, I'm saying if we're going to Comrades, those that can't afford and those that can afford, all of them are representing Polokwane Athletic Club. And maybe we shouldn't just focus on those that can't afford, and those that afford, we throw them away. What are we doing for those that afford? Can't we maybe just get another accommodation for those that can afford? I hear Chairman talking about staying around the corner. And I hear about the bus that need to collect the people. So I'm sure there's some people at home, they sleep on a certain type of bed and they expect something similar or not too far off from that. And others don't mind. But Chairperson, I would suggest that maybe on the group we check how many are in need of different accommodation. If it's 2 or 3, then we know we don't have a problem. But if it's more people, then maybe it might be a good idea that we get another accommodation just around the corner where we know Polokwane Athletic Club, they are staying close to each other. The bus that need to collect them, we will not struggle to get all the members. It's just a matter of logistics. So it's just suggesting that we look at numbers and take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Members, I hear his suggestion, right? Look, logistically, it may become very cumbersome for us as the committee to have different types of accommodation for our members that the committee needs to arrange. I'm not shooting down the points, my brother. Imagine Ms. Mangalis and myself will then come forward and say, I will take it with the ratings, for example. This is a 3-star one. No, but Nalim, Ms. Mangalis, we need a 5-star one in Balito. The club make an arrangement for us. You can imagine, it keeps us somewhere. Members, humbly, let's agree that the committee will assist these needy athletes as we used to do with the transport and accommodation. And those who are not familiar with Durban and looking for something better, they can talk to me directly on the site. Then we will see what we could get for them. But for the club's arrangement, let it be what we have agreed on, members. I think let's move forward. And the reason why we could not announce this for members to start registering, we wanted to have this session before we can actually communicate any message regarding the logistics. From tomorrow, the message will be out to the members of the way forward regarding the payments and so forth regarding the bus and accommodation. The next item there is the breakfast. Members, this one, we're not going to take time about it. It has been a tradition for the club all the time that a weekend before the Comrades weekend, a Saturday this weekend, the Comrades Sunday next week, the club organizes the breakfast send-off at a particular location around town. To actually, the main thing is the send-off. You know, some of you work in military, and even in the church, there is such a thing to say the send-off. We are saying, go out there and preach the word. Go out there and represent the club. Go out there and fight for this country in the military. So that breakfast, the main purpose for it is to actually motivate our members to go to Durban and raise the Polokwane Athletic Club flag high. Here's the thing. Members, we normally organize that, and we try to get some subsidiary sponsors. Like I'm sure in the previous 2 years, the hotel nearby has given us the facility for free, and we will then make some little contribution for the breakfast. And we have always appreciated the partnership with them. And it is something that we will take forward. We always want to collaborate and partner with the stakeholders around Polokwane to help us in that regard. And we normally request members to contribute about 50 rands, am I right, Mangaliso? To actually make sure that it's actually not the cost of the breakfast meal. It's just a commitment and a reservation to say you are going to attend. And with the sponsors and the club then settles the rest. The only concern from my side, and which I want to open you for the members, is it takes us a whole lot of effort as the committee to interact with the sponsors and make arrangements and everything that needs to happen on that morning. And we agree that the breakfast will start at 7 in the morning. Members, you actually, what was the right word? For us to be there, some of us at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, to arrange for you and everything like we did in the previous days. And our very own members, when you pass through this precinct at 10 to 7, they are running. And they delay the program there. It is an insult. It's something that shows no respect to your fellow members and to the committee. I'm just humbly requesting that let's move away from that type of conduct. When the club makes a call to say we are having a special day for our athletes, we are starting at 7 like we did today. Let's hit to the call, let's be on time, then our proceedings won't take long. Remember, there are some conditions that we get from these sponsors to say you need this place from 7 until 10. But we arrive there at 8:30. And you still want to have your photos because now you're going to Comrades, you want to then remember the sponsors there are saying, you see, we agreed with you for this time. Now you are overlapping. Must we charge you? And those are the things that you may not know as the members. It comes to the committee, but this type of engagements. In my mother tongue, let's change from that type of conduct and make sure that when there is a communication to say we are starting at 7, we are there at least even 15 minutes before or 30 minutes before, because that admin of taking your ticket and your goodie bag, then by 7 we are seated, we start with the proceedings. Can we try to do that, colleagues, and improve? From our side, as the committee, that is the humble plea that we are making to you. And on that, I don't know from the members, from our side, I think we are comfortable with the proceedings that we have had in the previous few years. Maybe some input from your side to say you can improve on that aspect regarding the breakfast. If there is any input from your side, please, you are welcome, so that we can do things better, even from the side, our side as the committee, for us to enjoy that special day for the send-off. My brother witness, is there anything from that side? I think those that are on virtual, they are happy. From the floor, are we fine? If there's nothing much, we can move to the next item. But that was just a plea from my side, because the other things regarding the breakfast, I'm happy with the way things are proceeding, except the issue of time. Let's move to the next item. Yes, sorry, the treasurer wants to say something.
Thanks. It comes to my mind now. I realized over time that runners love Munatinyana, so I'm trying to suggest that we keep the breakfast. However, coming back, we arrange maybe game reserve. we get a DJ, then we hoist something nice there. Whether DNF or finished, it's just a suggestion.
No, thank you, Treasurer. I think, the man with the pocket is the one speaking. Things will happen, you mustn't worry. It's a good suggestion. The goodie bag members, the club, all those I see fellow members here, these t-shirts that you see here, I've seen them in the goodie bag in the previous 2 years. This was for the other year, and this was for the previous year. Members, we try to get the goodie bag to your satisfaction. And from what the Treasurer has read earlier on, and to the little knowledge that I have, the goodie bag contribution is 600 Rand. Agreed, that one was for transport and accommodation. Then there is those of us who may not be using transport and accommodation, but you have to contribute 600 Rand for the goodie bag. That is also another cost that the club incurs in terms of subsidizing that goodie bag and making sure that our members get something. Like I said, it's a send off. In the military, we'll give you a rifle. Here, we'll give you a goodie bag. Then for you to go. Then members, I may not be accurate with the figure, but it costs us anything between 2.1 to almost 2.5 for that goodie bag. Remember, normally you will have the t-shirt, you will have either the tracksuit, a pair, a full set, or last year it was a jacket with a cap, with socks. Remember, I'm just mentioning them. It's not, the goodie bag is not something that is standard to say we'll have socks, we'll have this. I'm just mentioning from the previous year what was in the goodie bag. There was a cap, there was a buff, there was a pair of socks, there was a t-shirt, there was a jacket, there were some tablets for those of us after 10 kilometers in the you start, then the club must hold something to your mouth. And we also had some and we're the only club in Durban. I heard it from one of the members around Polokwane to say, you were the only club in Durban that had a head with a beam light. So we could actually see you in Durban that you're from Polokwane. So members, that is what we got in the goodie bag. It cost us as much as anything between 2,000 to 2.5. Sometimes, I remember with the tracksuit, it went to almost 3 grand. And we contribute that 600 Rand. Members, what we're going to do is, and we have started, we go all out with, like I said, I remember the t-shirts last year were subsidized from the sponsor to say, pay 50% of the cost, will then cover the 50%. That's the type of arrangement we make with the stakeholders out there. And but in most cases, we found us as a club taking a whole lot more from the club's coffers. The former chairperson said, what about those athletes? This year I saw that we are almost approaching 650 to 700 members in this club. And only 200 of us to almost 220 are the ones running Comrades. Can you imagine that we are just a fraction of the members that are belonging to the club? And I want us to justify the fact that as far as we want to subsidize you from the club's coffers, but it must also be acceptable for any ordinary member paying the same amount of membership fee to actually say, yes, those are our members represented as Comrades, they deserve it, but not at our expense to that extent. I think my point is clear. So members, for me, I would like a situation where if it comes to a point that you prefer a certain type of quality or items, which we're not going to discuss here to say which item, which one, but which we've got a platform that we're going to communicate. If it comes to a push that you have to pop out a bit more for that goodie bag, we will communicate that for you to get something that you're comfortable with, that you're happy with. But we are trying by all means to keep the cost as low as we can and subsidize that goodie bag as a club and together with the sponsors for you to get a proper goodie bag to vote to Comrades. So we are not going to have a similar thing all the time. We have never done that even before, former chairperson. It will be a top, it will be a tracksuit, it will be something else. So regarding the goodie bag members, we are going to package you a proper goodie bag that the club can afford with the assistance from the sponsors. And the only request I want to make from my side, representing the committee, is to accept what has been provided. It has always been something in our culture to say, when you are given something, really appreciate what you've been given without going out there to the other club, and they're not getting what you got actually. When I ran races in Gauteng, twice, see me with the club colors, and somebody tend to know me, they say, this is the club, the richest club in the country, they've got money. You know, they take that club to Durban for 600 rand and they gave their club members the goodie bag worth so much with this amount. We are not rich members. Without the support from the stakeholders and your understanding, we may not be able to package such a goodie bag. But like I'm saying, let us work together. We need your inputs on that process. There's a committee dealing with that. Then we are going to package a decent, proper goodie bag for you, and for you is to receive. May I receive again? Thank you. Maybe an addition from chairman, former chairman. Are you fine with the Mavina? You can. He's fine. He will make a contribution somewhere. Members from your side, are we fine with the goodie bag matter? Without a hand, we are okay. The Mavina, you want to say something?
Yes. Thanks, Chairperson. Yeah, I just want to add on the send off. Yeah, we have witnessed that. Actually, you should just have said, runners are coming late, so that it is on record that there is late coming. And yeah, that is our observation, because some of us would come in the morning to try and assist that lab. So my plea is that at least members need to change. Or else, Chair, if it doesn't change, next year we'll have to get a tent here. We don't go to parking. We simply hire a tent and some chairs, then we do our breakfast here. At least we can spend the whole day if members comes late. No parking, no resini. Just here or in front of the clubhouse, we hire a tent and chairs, we organize some bread for sandwiches. Then it goes like that. We give goodie bags, we go home. The issue of the goodie bags, Chair, it's not a policy matter, it's a gesture. So I'm just worried if you received complaints from members that they are not happy with the goodie bag. I'll be very worried. We have been getting goodie bags, various things. For me, it's a gesture that LAP is saying, go well. Really, can you complain to say, I think the comparison that I've noted, Chair, was that our runners were comparing our club with other clubs. To say that club gave their runners this, why is our club only giving us? And remember, we are not really on the same level. And my appeal is that what the club gives us as a token of appreciation of going to the Comrades, we need to appreciate and accept. And without wasting much time, colleagues, okay, go ahead.
Remember now the goodie bag. It's not, if you don't like it, the one previous year, you don't have to pay again to get a new goodie bag. Just say, I don't want to be part of it. So now we get a goodie bag and you start complaining about the quality and the products that you get. Then you mustn't be part of a goodie bag and take your money and go buy your own jacket, and that's the end of it. But if you start looking at other clubs, you will be surprised how privileged you are what we're getting. I know the Roadrunners, I think they got a t-shirt one year or perhaps just a jacket. We're giving you a full spread of items that the club can afford to make it as nice as possible. And it's great. It's not always, sorry, we can't always determine the quality. So we order a tracksuit from Durban, for instance. When you get here, it's not what you expected. You get a sample and it looks nice, but the day when you get here before we distribute it, it's not completely what we expected. So that is something that's unforeseen, but the club will always try to act in your best interest and give you the best possible goodie bag that we can afford. Thanks. You as well, eh?
Evening, fellow runners. Yeah, I'm just going to take a different off-ramp from what the other committee members have just discussed now. I actually encourage you to complain, because complaint is an opportunity to improve for us. But the only thing I would like you guys, the runners, to do is to complain in a respectful manner. You can see the effort that these guys have put into this thing. So going around in social media just bashing people, that's not complaining. That is just being disrespectful, that's all. You know Tabane, you know Sello, you know Gore, you know Tatesiliki. So if you have a problem with whatever you found on your goodie bag, there's nothing that is stopping you by contacting the people who organize directly, instead of going to social media and going to Facebook and going to everywhere and just bashing the name of the club. That is totally unacceptable. We called the Imbizo today so that we can show you the people who are organizing these things. So it makes no sense that when you have a complaint now, you are taking it to some people that are not even part of this thing. That's all I have to say with this thing.
Thanks, Boo. Runners, we have an item here, 4.5, where we are going to have a presentation. I don't know if they are around. 4. Yes, I'll come to that one. I just want to check if the presenters are here. Okay, no, it's fine. I'm happy. And before we move to the presentation, runners, let me go back to 4.4 and allow either the chairperson or the secretary or the treasurer to talk on the welcome medals and parade and awards after we come back from the Comrades.
Thank you, Program Director. Same with the breakfast send-off. When people come back home, they need to be appreciated for the effort that they made wherever you have sent them. The club normally will organize a welcome celebration. We normally call it a medals parade. My treasurer didn't have one last year. And he was there. So my question is, did he go and implement the mandate? Or in the Bible, people were sent to somewhere and others went somewhere. So I told him that it can't be him. On the later note, my treasurer. Members, indeed, we come back here with our medals, which must be celebrated, the effort that the members put there, bringing our silvers. It's unfortunate that our club, I don't know when we're going to get gold, Corey. It has been a long time. We must recruit an athlete here who can bring us one gold. Yeah. From our club colleagues, normally we'll get our silver medalists, we'll have your Wali Hayward medals, you'll have your Bill Rowans, you'll have your different categories of medals that you know you get them at Comrades depending on your performance. That celebration normally takes place at the clubhouse. It's not a very big thing. We just take photos as a memory for the club, and we just share some few drinks that the club has organized, and it becomes a wonderful evening normally. There is only one side that I want to address members which came through, especially from the AGM. That's why I'm saying some of the issues here are informed by the discussions from the AGM. When we come back from Durban, we know that those top performers, the club will organize a token of appreciation for various categories, and we will then decide to award on top of whatever to say, this our silver medalist, we will give them this token of appreciation. And former chairs here, when I took over, and I've been in the committee for almost 8 years now, I don't remember any policy document or any document directing the club to actually say, when you got silver or Bill Rowan, you're going to get 10,000 from the club. We will never have such a policy directive. What happens is, and from time back, we normally have good Samaritans that actually motivate our members to do well at the Comrades. And they will normally communicate with the executive to say, I have 30,000 rand or 50,000 rand or 10,000 rand. The conditions of it is that I want to give it to the club to reward the top performers at the Comrades Marathon. And the club, in discussion with that particular Good Samaritan, will then say, how do we break down this little amount of money for these athletes? And at times you find us giving some 3,000, 1,000, or a voucher of 500 rand, depending on what we have. I need us to agree, members, that during that time, same as the goodie bag, we are out there trying to get such good Samaritans to help us to reward such performers. And we need to agree that, as I put it, the club is covering a whole lot of costs that we incur. We don't want to find ourselves taking from the club what we don't have and giving 50,000 rand to the Demavina for Comrades. We will communicate. The only thing that I want to indicate here is, in no time, we will communicate that if you get silver medal at Comrades, this is what the club is going to offer. So that you go there motivated and knowing that if I do well, this is what the club is going to offer for me. And whatever, Steve, 20,000 rand, because there's not anywhere documented that that is going to happen. It will look like the chairman is a friend with Steve. He gave him 20,000 rand. He's going to take that 10,000 rand and share with Steve. We don't want such type of things. Corey, maybe you can add from the previous arrangements that we had, unless if there's anything that I said is different to the setup. That is how things were done, colleagues. And like I'm saying, we're going to communicate it on the group to say, those getting gold, that one I'm challenging you, it will come from my pocket. Then I will offer it. Then the rest of the stuff, silver, whatever, The way I'm a farmer, I can give you a bag of Harvard squash for that silver medal, and you're fine. But colleagues, that is how we're going to do it, and for everyone to be aware of that arrangement, so that when we come back for that medal parade, everybody is aware of what to expect based on the performance that they will have done at the Comrades. Treasurer and Corey, you will come in.
Just one point. Thanks. I think the awards will be sponsored. The funds allocated to those that perform will be sponsor dependent. Therefore, if there is no sponsor, the club will determine a reasonable amount, like we did last year. We did not have any sponsors. Hence, we just thought, let's give them whatever we can afford as a club. So, whatever we give away will be sponsor dependent, or whatever the club can afford at the time.
Thanks. I know we in the past that 1 year we gave each silver athlete, I think, 2,000 rand or 1,000 rand. That was true, but we had the funds available at that stage, and we communicated that beforehand that if you reach silver, you will be rewarded with 1,000 rand. But at the welcoming party, I think we only handed out chocolates, and they get their reward actually at the end of the year, the AGM function. But yeah, it's all about the committee. If we don't have the funds available to give each silver athlete 1,000 rand or 2 grand, and then you can't do it. Yeah, but it's nice. I think it'll be nice to say, if we try and get sponsors now, for instance, I'll try and help you. I would like to see a silver athlete get 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand. How many people are going to run silver? Can I see how many people are going to do? Huh? Joe? Mr. Moya? So, yeah. But we can get a sponsor to do that. I think it'd be nice to say, listen guys, each of you who ran a silver will give you 2 grand. I'll commit to that. Right. You've got a sponsor. All right. Hopefully there's only one.
Let me finish. Colleagues, I think you've heard it. Like I said, we are all out there with corporate wealth and so forth to get. It would be nice to even give them more if you get more from. I committed for gold. He committed. Then I think we are on. We'll announce what we will give to the athletes that represent us well at the Comrades. Program Director, maybe.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. Thanks, Chair. Colleagues, runners, yeah, you allow me to also complain as part of trying to close the gap. I've been doing marshals for the past 3 years with the club, and I've noted the expenses that we are incurring through the marshals. And now here we are, we want to raise money for prize givings. The CDM alone, when we get non-runners marshals from all over, we pay almost around 8,000. And on the city marathon, Polokwane city marathon, normally that one we don't even have marshals from the club. We get people from outside because all the runners, they want to run. We end up hiring people from outside as marshals. And for city marathon, we pay between 10 and 12,000. And now our marshals, some of them are complaining to say, but guys, we have been giving us 200 from 3 years back. This must also improve. But what I'm saying is that if we could work, all of us, and save that 8,000 for CDM and save the 12,000 from city marathon, I can assure you those savings can go a long way in improving our financials. I've seen it. I've done marshals. I pay them. He gives me the money, the whole 12,000. Then I pay out to marshals, and I feel very bitter when I pay. Never mind, they've done the work. But spending 12,000 in one race is too much. So my appeal is that if you want to save money and improve on the offerings that the club may offer to us, we also have to come forward and assist the club. If I can get 60 marshals from the runners for CDM, then I've saved 200 times 60. That money remains with the club. And that is my appeal, to say let's try to improve our financials so that we can have more offerings. And Chair, your last comment, if there is any, before I call upon Mr. Daniel to do a presentation on the Hybrid Axis Training Center. He is from the Hybrid Axis Training Center and is going to tell you more about strength conditioning, especially those who are going to Comrades.
Before you come through, Daniel, there's one important thing that I think I forgot, even on the agenda. Members, we have this Comrade supporters. I need to emphasize it here and not leave it to the send off. We need club members that are willing to support us at the Comrades Marathon. The support, basically, let's start with the halfway. We need very committed members, those who can stand up the whole day. Daniel, you've got a job to do. Strengthen these supporters as well, to serve our members throughout the day, and basically it's half a day, because under normal circumstances you are past halfway in 5 hours, 6 hours of the day. These members of the club must be people that are not coming to us on the eve of Comrades to say, I want to support the club members at Comrades. We will not accept that. We start today. I got reminded because of what he's saying in the marshals. We've got races here at home. During the week, we've got manual registration at the clubhouse. We need people, volunteers, to come and help us as the committee to run these events successfully. Offer your hand and say, I'm available to come and relieve some of those who have been working from the morning, because we normally do that 7 or 8 in the evening when we do manuals. Come and help us and get to the back. We know then at least less job from our side to those that have started in the morning. During races, be a marshal. During races, like there's a race that our sister club is organizing on the 14th. I'm aware that some of us are going to Cosmos, but those that normally remains at home. There is a race organized by 015. That is one club that doesn't fail to hit the call to come and do a water point in almost all our marathons. They are hosting a half marathon on the 14th here at the rugby field. We need just 5 members of the club to come and help us with the water point. That is the type of arrangement that we need. But I'm saying we start here at home. At the halfway, colleagues, we need members of the club that can actually the week before Comrades at the clubhouse, the members hand over those halfway goodie bags, halfway bags. And they are labeled with proper names, Tawana, Kori, and so forth. And we normally help to say, Makali normally runs a Belroen. He will pass halfway before Tawana. Make it a point that those type of nitty-gritties, you are aware of them. And when Makali arrives there, remember he's running, he's got a target. We know these are the bags of those members of us that probably will pass here by this time running for silver or Belroen. When those guys arrive there, we mustn't be fiddling with the bags and say, where's Tawana's bag, whatever. Then he has to wait for you for about 5 minutes before he can pass the halfway. Because we may have had somebody who said, I want to support. We brief them of what is expected, but on the day, they don't actually do what we request them to do. The same thing that those Robert Mujalis coming. Normally we have somebody around that group to actually track the athletes coming to say Tawana has passed 30 kilometers. You know, the good part is technology is there. Then let me prepare for them. By the time I arrived there, then my things are ready. Few minutes, I'm done with the assistance I passed through. So members, we humbly request that here at home is a practice. You can't go and do something that you have never done before. Come and list your names, help us here, then we go to Comrades, then we know that these are our members. Normally, those are I'm talking about real volunteers, because I'll say that because in the previous years, those people will pay for themselves accommodation, they will do this, but as a club, we will give them a token to actually have a meal for that day and a drink, whatever, when they are there. But there are those committed members that are willing to wake up at 2 in the morning. Because if they don't hit the road by that time, the road will be blocked and they cannot reach halfway to support our athletes. And previously, we had members. Ms. Lara was part of them. We agreed that you are going to be at the finish to support our athletes with refreshments and taking them to where the club tent is and so on. I'm sure you are aware that setup at the Comrades, it becomes a mess. You are tired, you can't see where you're going. Then we need people who can actually look for our members there and take them to the club tent and they get refreshments and they rest a bit. One of the members that became a supporter for that, in the morning, leaves Lara alone with a whole lot of work, goes to Pietermaritzburg. And during the day, she has to do the whole work with some few people, and we have agreed that you are the team working at the finish, you are the team at the halfway. Please, members, when we say you are our supporter, normally we give them T-shirts so that they look the same. Like what Lara, that is the T-shirt that we gave our supporters last year, so that you are visible. The token from the club, together with that token of money to buy refreshments and so forth. Please, we humbly request you to help us so that our athletes can enjoy Comrades without actually not being worried that when I go to the halfway, one of my pair of shoes that I put in the bag was not there. I couldn't change my shoes. Imagine. And Smangalizo put the both pairs inside the bag. And those type of things. But at least what I'm saying is, come forward, help us from here. We train you properly. By the time you go to Comrades in June, you are ready. You know what is expected of you. Then we humbly request you to come forward regarding that support. Without waste of time, you requested Daniel you can come forward, Daniel. It's a young man here in town. He's going to be with us on this journey of Comrades with some of you that will be willing to join him regarding the strength conditioning. Corey, thank you so much. He wants to leave. I will give you the platform, Daniel, to actually share with our members what you are doing and what is it that you can help them. Like the program director said, if you want to run Comrades, it needs strength, it needs endurance. It's a very challenging exercise. So the platform is yours. Share with us what you offer for the club.
Good evening, everyone. I think let's quickly just stand there right where you are. Stand. We've been sitting too much. Look at the guy next to you, say, this year I'm going for gold. Why are we laughing? You mustn't doubt yourself. Say, this year we're going for gold. Let's sit. Now you look much better. I'm Daniel from Hybrid Access Training Center. I've been in the fitness industry my whole life. I am born and bred here in Polokwane, grew up here, and I'm just staying here outside of town. And I told Tabana every day, every morning and afternoon when I drive in and out, I see all of these runners running around the stadium, giving it their best. And I saw that most of us, if I ask you, do you run just to run, or you are running actually because you want to improve? Can I ask you by show of hands, who's running but you don't mind getting results, you just want to run because you want to get away from work, but you don't run to see results? Are there anyone like that? Okay, but is there anyone here that is running actually with the hope to see improvement? Anyone? Let's see. Those there at the back, we don't run. I'm seeing you there. So you will see in your running journey, a lot of you started, and you started with, you didn't really run, and you decided, today I'm starting to run. Now 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months pass, and you see improvement, running better, and all of a sudden it's as if you reach a point where you are running harder and harder, and you're running more and more and more and further, but it's as if you can't get that next step. Do you understand what I mean? Have you been there? Okay, so the reason for that is you can go and look at any top athlete, top performers in any sport, running especially. They don't run only. Yes, they run, and running is, let's say, 70% of what they do. But I believe that 30% most of us are missing is the strength and resistance training. So I'm a practical guy, and I'm always trying to explain it to you in a way that you can relate. You can give me the strongest engine, a V8 4.5 liter. That engine is very strong, but without the right wheels and suspension, that engine is worth nothing. So the problem with runners, especially I see, is we tend to spend all of our time on running every day, running, but we're missing out on the suspension part, if you understand what I mean. Your engine is there, you are fit, your endurance is 100%, but you lack the strength part. The strength training is what's going to make you run faster, stronger. Your suspension, your muscles is your suspension, supporting your joints. Running takes a lot of impact on the knees, and especially your core. You might think I'm only using my legs, but your core is the section that's actually preventing you from collapsing like this. And you can even see it from guys that have been running for years. The older they get, it's as if you'll see they start running like this. It's not because of age, it's because of the lack of strength and resistance training. Sorry, I'm not trying to say bad anything if you are running like this. It actually means that we can correct it. It's not because of your age, it's because of a lack in your training. So I've come up, me and my team, we developed a program, a strength and resistance training program specifically for runners. So there's a lot of gyms that you can go to, and I believe a lot of you are a member of a gym, but you go there and it's as if you are not 100% sure, "Ish, what do I need to do?" And you look at the machine and you just do a little bit of this exercise and a little bit of this exercise. You check Facebook a little bit and then you go back. But you don't see the results because you are not following a specific program designed specifically for runners. So what we did, me and my team, we developed this program specifically for runners, and that's going to be at our gym. It's there in Dorp Street. I've got some business cards here with our address and everything on there. It's only twice a week. And the reason for that is we know that you guys spend a lot of time on the road, and that is good. But we want to take 2 sessions out of your week, and we want to swap them with a strength and resistance session. Our idea is that it will be on Mondays and Wednesdays. Like I said, especially for runners, most of you on a Saturday you will be running your race. Sunday rest. Monday is a good day to do a strength session because you did your long race distance on Saturday. Tuesday you can run again. Wednesday your second strength session, and then Thursday, Friday you can recover to go for gold again on Saturday. All right, so that is basically it. We are only charging 450 Rand per month. It's a membership. It might seem like it's a little bit too much for someone, but if I can compare it, this program gives you the ability to get coaching, runners specific coaching. So people pay. I've got members, I don't know if you can remember Henny van die Kerk, Pieter Skempers. They are also very strong runners. They are some of my members, but those individual members, they pay anything between 1.5 to 2.5 because they get personal coaching just for them. But what we are doing now is we are making it available for a larger group of people, that there's going to be a class especially for runners only. There's no other members there. This class is dedicated for runners. So yeah, that is the idea that we came up with, and we hope that you guys will see the value in that, and we would really love to see you guys joining us. And I heard you guys talking about sponsors, so I somehow thought that I know the bucket is big, but I believe that every drop counts. So from our access, we will sponsor 2,000 for your winners or the whatever bucket. So that's from us, extra 2,000 there, so that you guys can. Well, we are the first sponsor, and I hope there's some others coming to join. And that is also our heart. I'm not standing here as a salesperson to collect memberships. Obviously, yes, we can't do everything for free, but that's why we try to do it at a price that would be affordable for most people. And our vision is to not to grow the gym, but to improve your running experience, your running performance, and to reinvest into the community. I am very passionate about fitness. I love seeing people active, and for me, I believe looking at the bigger picture, if we can start now with this type of training, and actually invest into the runners community by investing by sharing knowledge, like our strength conditioning and program. That's knowledge that we share with you to improve your run, and then also to see where we can help financially. So yeah, I believe that is it. Do you think I missed anything? Yes. So Our sessions will be, yes, it will be in the mornings, 6 to 7, so 6 o'clock in the morning until 7, but the session would be around 45 minutes. So if you need to leave, let's say 5:45 or 5:50, you will be fine to go, but we tend to give 1 hour per session, so that the runner-specific session would be from 6 a.m. in the morning to 7 a.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. And the sessions will also be designed and programmed in a way we won't be doing any running, any cardio. So let's say you have to run the morning, you can still go for your run 5 a.m. because you will be able to do your strength session after a run. So I do have members that are already interested that on a Monday they do a run at 5 a.m. They will somehow run straight to the gym and do the strength session afterwards, because it's two different energy systems. After 15 minutes you'll be recovered from your run and ready for your strength session. Are there? Yes. Right now, we do not have an afternoon one, although I said, we want to help the runners. So if you have any suggestions, remember, I won't be able to accommodate everyone's times, but let's say you have like a general time that is going to be suitable for you guys. Tell us, let me know. You can let me know now. They've got my contact details. I believe they also share it maybe on the group, and I've got business cards here. You can let me know that this is a time that you guys think would be more suitable, and we are more than willing to see if we can adapt to that. Any other questions? Yes. So if you go down and you pass the Polokwane, the provincial hospital on your right-hand side, you get to and then you turn left into Dorp Street. On your right-hand side, you'll find the school sport fields for PHS. You'll see that there's a big building there. That is where the gym is. Any other questions? Anyone, did you like what you hear? Or am I wasting my time? All right. So yeah, like I said, I believe that the strength and the resistance training are one of the single most important aspects in any runner's program. And if you start training with us and you train consistently, it's impossible not to see an improvement. If you train consistently, remember, you can't come for one session and then leave and say you didn't see any results. Train consistently for 3 to 6 months. I can guarantee you will definitely experience results in your running. Thank you for giving me. Thanks, Tabana.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and we really appreciate from the onset you want to help the club. But the biggest thing that we could get from you is the performance from these athletes in terms of their various ambitions. That will be grateful, and we really appreciate that. And what I would request from Daniel, he told me that some of us believe in seeing. If you allow me, he will send me a video of what they're doing at the gym. Then we can share it on this Comrades group. Then you can actually see what they're doing, so that by the time you make your decision, you are aware of what you are getting yourself into. Yeah, then I will share that. Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, strength training doesn't mean we're going to overload you with heavy weights and difficult movements. It only means that we can still adapt our program to everyone. Not all of us are on the same level, but we can follow the same program. Us as the coaches will give different movements to different fitness levels. So if you are feeling you are a little bit too old for this, that's nonsense. If you can stand up and sit down, you can come. We can help you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Let's give Daniel a round of applause, colleagues. Thank you so much. Before we get to that item, witness, on your side, is there anything from the virtual side that needs attention so that we don't leave those that are not here behind? Can I check with you before so that if there's anything to respond on all the items that we have presented here, we can attend to that before there's nothing, witness? It's just a comment. There's a comment from Moloko here. It reads as follows: we are watching and listening from a distance. Good job, Chairman, and the rest of the collective. The video and audio is excellent. This must not come to me or the committee, I must say. The man standing there, colleagues, is one of our members, Witness Munisi. Is one of those that raised their hands early this year to say, Chairman, this is our club. We want to go with the things. And for us to have a meeting and our members in Gauteng or Begersford cannot listen to us, that must come to an end. And today, here is members. Witness, can we just give a round of applause for Witness? When we talk voluntarism, members, that is what we are talking about. The club, Witness is helping the club to ensure that we can communicate with our members properly. Witness, from my side and the executive, we really appreciate my brother. The day we leave it to you, the program director, and the Demathangu to give us the vote of thanks. Ndemathangu is our deputy secretary, and he needs to come on board and he must come.
Thanks, Chair. I don't know where Daniel is because I wanted to tell him that you and STB should be the first lines there. Thanks, runners. In terms of the way forward, I just want us to recap some of the important issues that we discussed before Zbu come and give a vote of thanks. The issues were as follows. We discussed about transport and accommodation, and we agreed that from tomorrow we'll start getting members who would like to use the services, registering their names. And the issue of runners who goes to Durban with the bus and decide to sleep somewhere, we said that is a policy matter. The club will have to put it on record so that members understand that the trip to Durban for Comrades is a package. You can't break it into two pieces. And Chair, the compilation of the list, we said should start tomorrow in terms of who is going to use the bus and the accommodation. The other issue that we discussed, colleagues, was to encourage members to improve on attendance during the breakfast and goodie bag sending off. We need to come on time because normally the hotel will say we'll book from 7 to 10, and by 10 o'clock, sometimes we are still busy. And I think those are the most important issues that we discussed, and they form part of the way forward. And with those words, colleagues, Yes.
Program Director, I just wanted to say we normally arrange refreshments, but we realize that you are deep into the tide and whatnot, so we just arranged water. So, yeah, thanks.
There's a question from Philemon.
There's a question here, colleagues, before from Philemon Manamela. Good evening. My question is about out of the program. Do you guys organize long-run training, or is it up to an individual to prepare ourselves for Comrades? Philemon, on this group for Comrades, you will see a number of training programs that will be communicated in the near future from various coaches. Coach Steve, where is he? There is Coach Steve here in the house. There is Coach Lufu, Coach TT. There is a number of coaches here in Polokwane that will communicate our long runs on the group for Comrades. Members, this is what you will get from our side. It can be a run at Ramolepo. It can be a run at Lucas Training Long Run. The members, feel free to attend any training run that you think works for you, but that will be communicated on the group so that you are aware of various training groups happening on various weekends moving towards the Comrades. I'm actually responding to Philemon's question here and also to inform you members. Deputy Secretary, the platform is yours. Colleagues, from my side, I'm not going to come back again. Thank you so much, those who are here with me tonight and those who attended virtual. I think this will actually make our work easy as the Comrades organizing group to actually give you something good that you should expect. And yeah, thank you so much on behalf of the committee.
Evening, runners, once again. Evening, runners, once again. Okay, we'd like to pass our gratitude and thanks to you, members, most of all the guests, Zarina. And I would also like to implore you that in the future Imbizos, can you be more engaging? Because it should not be like a lecture where you are just getting a lecture from the committee that says, hey, this is going to happen, hey, what. If you've got anything that you need to contribute, any suggestions, so that tomorrow when we come back and we complain, it should be our idea that we are putting into place, not just something that comes from the committee. So for the chairperson, the treasurer, Tate Siliki, and our secretary there at the back, and the whole committee, and our chief usher there, Lara, yeah. We would like to pass our gratitude out. Thank you all for coming tonight and spending the night with us. Appreciate it.
Okay, this is actually just for the in person. Firstly, Treasurer Sello mentioned the water. Please can you make sure that the bottles are all contained in one area so that we can clean up nicely and quickly. Second thing, please, those who have not yet signed the attendance register, please do so on the side there on the table, just so that we know who was present and we can just get an idea of numbers and things like that, so that we've just got the admin side sorted. Thank you.
Thank you, members. If you know anyone, members, who is not in the group, agri-technology in Eurotsenya, please help that member to be on the group so that they can get communication. Otherwise, there was a member here last year, was it, I'm sure, end of April. Substitution. Can you imagine? End of April. So because he didn't know, he's a new runner like that. So let's go out there and share the weight with other people that may not be in the group because they're not aware, so that all of us in the group for Comrades who are in the group, we can communicate properly. From my side, thank you, members.
Yeah, from my side too, thanks very much, runners, for honoring the event, and thanks you very much.